Catholic Health Services Good Samaritan Hospital Medical Center was the first in New York State to perform a new brain aneurysm procedure. And joining us here in the studio with more on that, Dr. Bekelis, who is CHS's chairman of Neurointerventional Services. But not only were you the first in the state, second in the nation to do this.
Thank you, Colleen. Yeah, it was really fantastic that we had that opportunity to offer this new treatment to our community and to the patients of Good Samaritan Hospital.
Okay, now I need just to tell us about this. This is for brain aneurysms.
Sure.
Tell us who can benefit from this.
So to backtrack a little bit for those of your viewers that really do not know what a brain aneurysm is, what a brain aneurysm is a small balloon kind of structure at the side of a blood vessel in the brain. So very similar to if you had a soft spot on a car tire and you get a little bump on the side of it. It's the same thing. It's a soft spot. The problem is if left untreated, it can potentially rupture, and that can have catastrophic consequences. People can die from it. And so this new stent gives us the ability to divert the flow away from these aneurysms and let them clot off naturally. And it's a curative procedure. After 6 months or so, the body kind of builds the wall inside the blood vessel, sealing off the brain aneurysm, and eventually they don't have to have any more follow-up or treatment for that.
And this is so new. It's just in the last couple of months.
Correct. And we've had the ability to, so the technology is called flow diversion. So we've had other stents in the past that offered that technology. Now, the new evolution in this stent is that, you know, we have the ability to use a lot more powerful flow diversion technologies, a lot more wires in the mesh of a stent that allow that technology to work, and also with much easier delivery systems. And so it's really revolutionizing the way we treat these aneurysms, the number of patients we can offer this treatment to, and also the safety through which we do this procedure.
Who is eligible for this?
So this would be for unruptured brain aneurysms that are, either in one particular part of the brain, but actually the indications for it are expanding in other parts of the brain too. And in order to do that, we're participating in a national and international clinical trial to better look at the indications and whether this stent can be applied in those locations. And it's great that Good Samaritan Hospital is able to offer that clinical trial for our community together with other centers that are nationally recognized and very well known. And so we're very proud of that.
Proud, and you sound excited about the results you're seeing too. But, like better than expected, or?
Absolutely. So we have the ability to use a lot fewer stents to get the same result, which translates to better safety. Mm-hmm. And that's because Evolve has, and that's the name of the stent, it has better efficacy when it comes to its ability to completely seal off the aneurysms. And that's very important to us. We want to get good results with a great safety profile for the patients.
Because if an aneurysm it just ruptures on its own, what happens then?
So if an aneurysm ruptures, it's a catastrophic problem. About half of the patients die right away the second a brain aneurysm ruptures, and from those that survive, only about a third will make it out of the hospital without any consequences. So it is a catastrophic problem, so we want to get ahead of it. And so if an aneurysm is discovered incidentally, meaning we were not looking for it, but we found it because of a headache or because of something else, then definitely we can consider treatment. There are some indications for whether you treat a brain aneurysm or not, but generally we want to get ahead of the problem, especially in younger patients that are more vulnerable to have a long life ahead of them, so a lot of opportunities for their aneurysm to rupture.
What are the I guess the symptoms? How do you find a brain aneurysm?
So there's two things, right? One is what are the symptoms, and those are very uncommon, and very rarely do you get symptoms from brain aneurysms. Most of the times you discover it incidentally. But if you do get symptoms, and this is something for your viewers to be very attentive to, if you were to develop the worst headache of your life, if you were to develop dizziness, nausea that goes with that headache, pain behind the eye, double vision, then you need to go to the hospital as quickly as possible or call 911. If you ignore progressively worsening headaches, that can be a sign of an aneurysm changing or of an aneurysm leaking, and that can result obviously in a rupture, so you got to be very attentive of that. Now, risk factors of why you get a brain aneurysm, which I think was the second part of your question, there's not many. We know that smoking puts people at higher risk to develop and have a brain aneurysm rupture, and also genetics are a big component of what goes on with brain aneurysms. Not necessarily that it runs in the family, that you might be more susceptible because of your genes. And then, ultimately, if you have high blood pressure and you have a brain aneurysm, then you're at higher risk to rupture. But these are the basic risk factors that we encounter. But as I said, the most important thing when it comes to brain aneurysms is awareness, and awareness of these subtle symptoms that can change your life. And I have a lot of examples of my patients or other actually famous people that ignored these findings or ignored these symptoms and ended up with a catastrophic bleed.
And I was shocked at the numbers. According to the Brain Aneurysm Foundation, 6.5 million people have unruptured brain aneurysms.
So there's a lot of unruptured brain aneurysms out there, and there's no necessarily screening methodology to address them. And we're very sensitive about that, and we're working with a lot of national foundations to push awareness and get people more aware of what's going on. And we're considering a screening program at Good Samaritan Hospital to be, well, actually it was probably going to be discussed this year, but because of COVID probably will be pushed into next year for September, which is Brain Aneurysm Awareness Month.
But you are definitely leading the way in treatment, so thank
you
you so much. Thank you for coming in.
My pleasure.
It was fascinating.